I'm in the game still rapping at a high capacity. If Nas wants to smoke, come in the booth. I will rap
He don't want
circles
no
around.
smoke. He enjoying that 150 million, 200 million he done made.
Okay then, so then leave me alone while I'm on the field.
You was effing with him. He wasn't bothering you.
They don't really know who Nas is. If he's 22, he's born in 03.
Not all of them. Some of them, though.
Jim Jones was never better than Nas. Jim Jones will never be better than Nas. And this is coming from somebody that's not a Nas fan. I love Dipset. I love the Diplomats. I love Bird Gang. But we not about to start rewriting history because Jim Jones got confidence.
Jim Jones pulled up to Shannon Sharpe's podcast and dropped a bomb. He claimed he is not just relevant, but more influential than Nas. Yep, Nas. The second those words left his mouth, the energy shifted fast. In 50 Cent, he did not even need to say a word. No name drops, no captions, just straight smoke. 50 threw up an old federal transcript on Instagram, like a silent warning, and let the streets do the rest. Now, fans are deep in the archives, digging up wiretaps and dragging out old footage.
I never got to, I never got to see Nas. I never got to sit down and have a conversation with Nas and things like that. I had called you about it and things like that. That was like still one of the people that I never got to have a conversation throughout my history of rap and things like that. I think I would love to have a conversation with Nas. I wouldn't know if he knows it, but Nas was one of my all-time favorite rappers coming up and things like that.
I've heard you say that.
Since the barbecue and things like that. Like he really put the whole dope boy rap, crack hustler, get fresh rap into perspective before any.
Meanwhile, Jim's in the gym, barking back with diss tracks like he is suiting up for a prison battle. But do not get it twisted. This is not just about Nas, and it runs way deeper than bruised egos. It is like 50 Cent is sending a message to the whole industry. You all forgot who is really bulletproof out here.
I saw a clip on Instagram where a young kid was comparing you to Nas and saying that you got
that's my young boy
big hits.
Wow.
Yo, he looked to you. He learned how to wear the BB Simon belt from you. He got his swag. Like, how crazy is that? Because in my era, you know what I'm saying? Nas is like a god.
In my era.
Now there is real chatter, serious talk, about how some people dodge indictments with no clear explanation. Jim might have tried to flex, but he just might have sparked a storm way bigger than rap. See, when Jim Jones brings up Nas, it always hits different. That tension, it did not come out of nowhere. This beef has history. Rewind back to 2002. Nas went on that infamous Hot 97 rant. Out of nowhere, he randomly blasted Cameron, calling his album trash with no real warning. That moment flipped the switch. Dipset came out swinging, and Jim Jones dove straight into the drama. Things got wild. Shots fired through mixtapes. Jim made it personal that he even said he would smack the kufi off Nas, and he meant it. On tracks like We Fly High, the disrespect was loud. This was not just rap beef. It was personal.
At Nas. But remember, Nas' first record, The Barbecue, came out when I was in 11th grade.
Yes.
So Nas was my idol when I was young. Like you did, came to dressing, the wordplay, the music, everything. I was a superior Nas fan. Period. I'd never take that away from him. But then as I got in the game, you got to realize that your rivals would be idols, and not to take anything away from that. I developed my own style and my own lane that these kids start to gravitate towards the same way I gravitated towards Nas when I was younger and things like that. It's a whole different generation.
But here is the twist. Jim actually used to admire Nas. Just last year, Jim was showing Nas nothing but love. Then, out of nowhere, that respect turned into straight-up shade. And it all took a wild turn when Jim popped up on Fat Joe and Jadakiss' podcast. Joe started stirring the pot, and Jim could not help himself. What happened next? Madness. Jim dropped one of the boldest takes in recent hip-hop history. He did not just say he was relevant. He said he was more influential than Nas. Nas, the Queensbridge legend, the man behind Illmatic, God's Son, King's Disease, the same Nas who is still selling out Madison Square Garden in his 50s.
Came into light and started going crazy that these kids love me. They don't really know who Nas is. If he's 22, he's born in 03.
Not all of them. Some of them, though. But
you know what I mean?
A lot of them, though.
No, me, Jim Jones. No Diplomats, no nobody else. Me, Jim Jones. Check my track record. Then check everybody else's track record. Then go to the billboards and check all my entries. Then check all of them. entries and shit. And I'm not taking nothing away from nobody, but I hear the comparisons and then be trying to act funny when it comes. No, I've been spanking a lot of this shit about the industry. I've been putting on.
But Jim did not flinch. Not once. He stood on it and doubled down hard. That podcast did not just stir the pot. It flipped it off the stove and set the whole kitchen on fire. And before the smoke even cleared, Jim spun the block again. This time, on Shannon Sharpe's nightcap, sitting right next to Chad Okocinco Johnson. Jim doubled down again, and somehow made the situation even messier. Shannon did not let him off easy either. He jumped right into it. But what Jim said next, it had fans straight up pausing the episode like, did he really just say that? Jim dragged the old Dipset versus Nas beef right back out from the grave, early 2000s drama, and tried to flip it into a win. Jim claimed he was actually a bigger Nas fan than most people, but somehow, he said, he had surpassed Nas in influence. Then, he started deflecting, talking about how fly Nas was with the fashion, calling him one of the freshest to ever do it, but he still circled right back to his main point.